Dr. Stephen Akitayo, the Odogo of real estate, as we like to call him. And he's many things to a lot of people. He was my school father when I was in school, and he's been inspiring to a lot of people, a lot of us. You'll meet a few people today that will speak better on that. But ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Stephen Akitayo.
Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen of the press. So this press conference is to highlight a few things. Part of our goal is to, one, talk about key decisions for 2025. The company, as you know, we are constantly growing as a brand, constantly improving as a brand. And our leaders are here. At least some of them are here, some at the back, because this place can't fit all of us. But key of them here will be able to mention some of the key important decisions from the year 2025. For us, our projections are that the Nigerian operations will still be a tough economy next year. We are looking at pegging the dollar to naira at 2,200, right? So we are trying to make firm, restructuring to make sure we deliver. We are not behind. What has happened this year, for example, in the economy has really, really affected the real estate sector in the Nigerian arm of things. We thank God for our expansion in the US, which then complemented or saved the day. And we'll continue to save the day as we expand. Can someone shut that door, please? Right. And so our expansion to the US, we believe, helped us this year and will still help us, because you remember we practically started the year with 500, if I'm correct, to is it 500 to $1? Eh? No, it was 500 this year. Yes, this year. We started this year about 500, yes, 500 to $1, then moved to 600, moved to 7. Who said heaven has fallen, but we moved to 9, and it moved to 1,000. I think it's around 1,7 plus now. And so that has a huge impact. If you understand, real estate require construction. Most of what used for construction are imported, as you are aware. Okay, and it then means that cost of building goes up. Now, even for land business, you still want to do road, you still want to do fence, you still want to do drainage. All of this, iron, everything, inflation was just really, really tough. So for us, 2025 is a year we need to adjust. We're not going to plan to even think that naira is going to remain at 1,800. We're even setting our mind to that maybe at some point even goes as high as 2,700 and is stabilized at 2,200. So as a result, there are few adjustments we need to make, and it's important. It's a very transparent organization. Integrity is key, and as we all know, you can't say you have integrity if you don't communicate. Part of the proof of integrity is communication. True of us, right? You have to be clear. This is what's going on. This is what we are doing. Thank you. This is what's going on. This is what we are doing. This is why we are doing it. Can they increase the volume? Can they increase the volume? Because of the fact that it's fair to communicate, and this is also being communicated to our clients, as well as we are communicating to the general public. So we're going to start with our MD of Gtext Land, who will give us a background on some of the key things that we're doing in that end of things. And like I said, every leader will share a few things. I will also share my own personal. Thank you. I'll also share my own personal opinion. As you all know, I wear many hats, like Toby said, right? I'm a thought leader, so oftentimes when I talk, I'm not just talking on behalf of my company, who are no longer actively involved in running, right? And part of what we realize, we'll probably do more press conference next year, is to keep putting the faces. And I think some of you noticed we got a lot of our leaders to do interviews in newspaper, on TVs this year. I don't know if you noticed that, right? You didn't notice. Some of you are not following us. We thought we were friends. So we tried to get a couple of our leaders to go on TV, talk, because there's too much of Gtext Gtext and sometimes it's unfortunate because a lot of the decisions that even gets those, I don't even know about them, right? So we hope that this press conference will also push our leaders out there, even with customers. Sometimes customers just want to come to me, and no matter how you try to explain to them to say, why not go to the people who run the company, right? Practically day to day, not even now that I'm in the US, my mind is more on expansion in the US and what we can do. We need to hold our leaders accountable, ask those who are running the business. I've noticed that there's a reason why we always run one man business in Nigeria. And it's the reason why when the founder dies, the business is over. And GTEx Holdings, our goal is that 200 years from now, even when I'm long gone, this company will remain. As you know, real estate is not something that will be destroyed or carried away. Am I making sense with us? So you have to build it from day one, based on the structure that when you are long gone, the company can run. And we want to appeal to our customers to understand that, right? I remember an experience one of our investor had about delay with her payment and return. And then she was all over me. And I kept saying, well, I sat down with the team. The economy is a bit hard as a result of the delay in the payment. Okay, so give it some time. I couldn't resolve our problem. But I said, talk to the leader. Guess what? In 24 hours, she got back and said they paid me. It's a short on this. Right? So I think sometimes people feel, when we disturb him, he founded the company, something will happen. And in reality, nothing will happen. Right? Meanwhile, if you really talk to the people who run day to day, right, they will get things done for you. So we hope that this press conference also helps in helping us know that
Gtext Holdings, a leading real estate company that has been doing wonders all over the world. And today we are here to announce the bold move. Bold move in the sense that yes, we are set to to announce this in order to enhance professionalism and trust in our clients, in the heart of our clients, because we found out that for some time now we have investors coming back to us to ask for refund. We are not banks. We are not banks. So we are here today to announce this, that going forward we don't do refund. GTS land don't do refund. But yes, we are open to buyback. We are taking this bold step of buyback. So we buy your property back, but there are some steps we take in terms of buying those properties back. Because for example, we have some investors who come to us claiming that oh they had issues. Of course, we know that the economy is not smiling. The Nigerian economy is not smiling on anyone. But then investing your money in real estate, we don't just keep that money down somewhere, hoping that maybe you can come back to say, oh, I need this money back. Of course, it's an investment. And we put this money into use to give you your return on investment. We buy properties, we do a lot of things with this money just so we can deliver on our promises and keep to our words, right? So when people come to say, oh, they need this money back, it's a lot on us. It's a lot. We had to go extra mile to see how we can even pull out some other investments, funds from other investment purposes to just fulfill all of this. Okay, so today we are here to announce that no, we no longer do refund, but we are ready to buy back. And for this purpose, there are some steps in terms of buying back. If you are an investor who has done business with us and you want us to buy your property back, there are some steps. You first of all send us our documents the way it was delivered to you. Send it to us, be it contract of sales, deed of assignment, whatever it is that binds us to you, you have to return it, right? You return it in good shape. Then from there, we can now start processing the buyback procedure. We can start processing that, and for the period of us giving you the money is a staggered payment, because some of those investors, you don't pay us outrightly. Some clients even pay. There was a client who was asking for refund. When we check the history, we found out that this investor was paying us 200,000, 100,000, 500,000 staggeredly. So right now we are ready to say, okay, we want to do a buyback, and we are going to make that payment staggeredly the way you paid us, and it's taking effect from like 120 working days. Okay, you give us 120 working days to pay you back the buyback process, to pay you back the money, right? So, and this is not just to throw shade, because for like over 1 year right now, we've done over 500 million returns. Okay, just more like in a form of refund, 500 million has gone into that, and that also affects our development, because if we keep doing that, we are not encouraging you as an investor to keep investing. We are is like, oh, if I need money, I can always go back to these people. We don't longer do that. That has to stop going forward, and we are here to make it open, to make it clear to everyone, to also enhance that trust, that professionalism, because tomorrow you can't say, you were not aware. That is why chairman has made it compulsory for us to announce it, because one thing I love about him is integrity. Communication is very, very important, and that is why we are having this press conference, to communicate to our investors and let them know that this is the bold move we are taking going forward.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ms.
so
Manga.
much.
Hi, Vivian. I'm seeing that things are working in this social place, social that place. And when you check, those people are owing us developmental fee or documentation fee. Miracle cannot happen like that. They say charity begins at home. Why don't you pay your home so we can beautify your home? So this is just a platform where we share the information we have. It's just pay your documentation fee and developmental fee. Because you will not expect us to use the money for the customer that have been paying their own to use to beautify your home. It does not work that way. And we've come up as a company, we've come up with a date, a mandate for everybody. From now being the 15th of December to January 15th of 15th of January 2025, it is the deadline for every other person to pay their documentation and developmental fee. It's a platform where we'll give you have the mail, send us the mail, tell us your concern. But we've been accommodating every other person. But here is the same one, please. As our beloved customer, we are here to serve you, and we are here to give you all our promises. We can't keep to all our promises when we have a defaulters. No company runs with defaulters. So we are all here to just tell you that please keep to your own promises while the company will keep to our own promises. And we promise you, there is no how you pay your developmental and documentation fee, your estates will not come out beautifully well as other people, as the other places that you've been admiring their own estate. Thank you so much.
A legitimate reason for it. But you just want to have a good name. Like they say, a good name is better than silver and gold. But we still have this. Somebody, I'll give you an example. In the last 2 weeks, we've had two people reach out to us on ridiculous requests. In fact, last week, one still reached out. My father is dead, right? I want to bury him. You give me back the money I bought land from you. And again, I don't know how, again, to process such It wasn't a deposit that was made to a bank. Am I making sense at all? That money is supposed to have been put to acquire a land. So that you feel you want to bury your dad and you think suddenly we should just refund your money back to you. And then people resort into threatening staff, threatening our employees. I mean, we've had to inform our legal team that we'll have to probably start taking this on legally. Because people don't do this in UK, they don't do this in Canada. I know that some of you saw, I think a policeman was addressing someone who came from Canada. I said, what you just did now in Lagos, can you do it in Canada? Right? So what people can't do, people do mortgage in the US, right? You default on your mortgage 3 times. What happened? Right? You lose the property, right? And you lose it like that. But in Nigeria, right, somebody will have owed you. He said he's buying land, for example. He's paid half. Then he defaults. Then suddenly he does a video on social media. They are owing me. I know we, ladies and gentlemen of the press, you two don't ask question. So they say they are owing the man 100 million. Wicked people, right? It's not fair. And I realize that this is only done, we do business outside of Nigeria, right? They don't do it in Dubai. Nigerians don't do this in Dubai. They don't do this in UK. They don't do this in the US. We have billions of naira being owed to this company. People just make little deposit and then the land is being tied down. Right? Some cases, yes, they pay for land, but they also pay for documentation and developmental fee, which is what you then use to fence the estate, do drainage, put security. Virtually all our estates has minimum two shifts, two security men in the morning, two security men in the night to prevent encroachment. So that those who invested in the company from UK, US, even if you didn't come to Nigeria, nobody will take your land. But that money, where is it coming from? That we're using to pay people, right? And these things are done all over. I have properties all over the world, including in US. If I fail to pay, I've gotten a mail now, for example, my Houston property. If I fail to pay my HOA dues, they can declare foreclosure. Foreclosure means they literally can sell my house on me. Estate dues, and it's in the law. So, but in Nigeria, we don't obey all these things, and we are all part of all those real estate people. They are all scammers. You can't put all of us in one cage. So for us, we just say, if people are owing us billions and we are not getting it back, can we buy back the land? We'll refund your money. Right? Are we together now? Just send us the documents. We're one of those who revolutionized art of trying to create transparency. We said, you buy land from us, you don't need to touch Nigeria. We'll send you your survey, we'll send you your deed of assignment anywhere you are in the world. So many of these people will send them their deeds, will send them their survey. They should just send it back to us, right? The day you send it, effective from that day, a 120 working days is counted, because also we need to resell it. I'm not making sense at all. We didn't keep the money in the bank. We need to resell it and then be able to pay you back. What we have decided to do is, because when you sell a land, you are paying 15% in commission. You have other administrative dues. That's why typically, even what they said minus 30% administrative fee, what all our clients are. But we're even saying we don't even mind. In some of these cases, we'll refund 100%. We'll bear the brunt, right? And we'll refund 100% based on this procedure. It's a procedure. We are not a mushroom organization where you see people just call you, oh, I need my money back urgently. I need it now. You have till, I'm wondering what exactly is going on. It's an organization. There's a process. So for us, it's 120 working days from when you send us back the document. They start processing, and then the refund is done staggeredly. And we're excited about this because we feel, again, we are the first to do this, right? But what this will help us also do is at least help people to know we are committed. Am I making sense at all? To integrity, to transparency, to best practice in the industry. But please, nobody should just harass our staff, call and then make vulgar statements on phone, make threats on phone. These are criminal issues. When you buy land from me, it's civil. Do we agree? Right? When you threaten me, it's criminal. So we don't want situation. That's why we're being transparent about this to educate people. We don't want situation where they will say, "Oh, Gtext is suing their customer for threatening their staff." Then everybody go rampage on social media. Oh, what kind of company does that? What kind of company is this? I don't think it's right to threaten anyone. Nobody does that in America. Nobody does that. And we are doing business in these places. We don't have this kind of problem, right? So I will advise that and by the way, let me say, these are just a small group of customers. We've enjoyed some of the best, and we need to emphasize that, right? Let's assume we have 5,000 customers. I'm saying that this is just maybe about 20% that you have who are owing you. But that 20% is still amounting to not 1 billion, not 2 billion, billions. So we want to also be clear that we've enjoyed some very, very good customers, and they are in the larger percentage. Customers who are grateful for their interaction and their business transaction with us as a company. Customers who have treated our organization and our employees with dignity. The last time I was in London, a customer gave me a gift to give a staff, right? A staff of the company, that she's so grateful the way the staff had managed her. So we have those, and we must thank them and appreciate them for what they are doing. And we are promising them that in 2025, they will see even better growth, right, in the organization, in what we are doing in terms of our Nigerian operations, because this press conference focus on more of our Nigerian operations. We also want to say that in view of inflation, we're also increasing prices of all our landed properties by over 100%. Right? Again, these are some of the things we couldn't do this year that then are part of what affect our slow construction this year. Okay, because again, you couldn't, like I said, we started with 500. We started with 500. Can they please give a chair to one of our lawyers is here from Falana Chambers? Please come, let them give him a chair to sit. Okay. Also here. Okay. So that people know we're serious about this. Like I said, we don't want customers to threaten our staff. I don't think it's right. I have lived my life in this country treating people the best way I can. In those days when I was very actively running the business, and a general manager used his shoe, threw it at a staff. He lost his job that day. He lost his job. And I made it clear to him, I founded this company. I've never thrown shoe at any employee, right? People must be treated with dignity. I think am I making sense at all? We should treat each other with dignity. And for us, that's what we're saying. That you did business with us does not mean you call our staff and you are threatening them. It's not right. Right? Who is that, please? Business with us does not mean you just wake up and say you want to do burial, you want to do wedding, you want to do this, let us send you money. I mean, yes, you are surprised. That's what we are facing. That's why we're doing a press conference. We can't take that going forward. No serious organization that has a future, right, we run business that way. And we are hoping that people who fall into this category, like I said, they are just in their 20% range, right, will desist from such. They might have done or have some experiences with other companies, we're a different one, and we have carried ourselves with such level of dignity, and we have communicated our level of dignity to people, and everybody can see that very clearly. So thank you. Do we move on to other parts, or we take question on
I think
this?
we should take questions first so
Okay.
that we get this part settled before we move.
The governor was there. Michael Kiro, who was a former IG of police, was there, and we had a very robust conversation about the sector, about the challenges of the sector, and some of these things were raised. In fact, Lagos State gave a lot of feedback that look, they now do civil settlements, which we've been part of. Right, we've had situations where people have said they want refund and they went through those civil conversations with those agencies, and we all agreed and refunds were done. But I think the ones that frustrate are the ones who we just write a petition to EFCC, call the police. In fact, Mr. Falana is saying, and his lawyer is here as well, made it very clear that police has no business with land matters. This thing has been ruled at the Supreme Court level, right? But you still see, invitation here, somebody bought land, he wants his money back, but he turns, I think part of it is our criminal justice system. Now, the criminal justice system has a loophole where once you say threat to life, breach of peace, right? The law says the judge can remand in prison even without evidence. And that needs to be fixed, right? You cannot just say threat to life, breach of peace without evidence, right? So usually there's a lot of connival that goes on between people and police, and then you arrest the person. By the time you lock him up for a while, he has no choice, and then you say, oh, we'll not release him except you people do something. And so we've had, of course, we've had situations whereby, thank God, being that we've had Falana Chambers being one of our legal firms. We have about 5 legal firms that work with us, but they are the most senior. And they've had to sometimes even call EFCC officials and say, inviting these companies, I hope you know you are breaking the law, right? You are stopping people from doing their job over civil issues that can be handled. Even Lagos State has LASRA and LASERA, and they were around also at the conference to say, we handle disputes. We've gotten people to get money, but I think sometimes it's just that, one of my public opinion, I do a lot of papers, I don't know whether some of you read it, is that Nigeria is a country of bullies by the bully for the bully, and the bigger bully wins, right? Well, I'm being honest with us. It's the way the system, even someone who does not have any connection, wants to bully a rich man on social media. I've shared before how one day I just saw Stephen Akintayo is owing 75 million naira, has refused to pay. I'm like, so I had to call the office. Ngbo, 75 million. Who? First of all, me, Stephen Akintayo, even my agbada here, I will not buy except I have my full money to pay. Right? Vodi is one of my tailors. You can ask him. I don't owe. So, and there's a difference between Stephen Akintayo and Gtext Holdings. And Gtext Holdings, I'm an investor. I'm no longer a director. You can't even see my name as a director of any Gtext company. I am an investor like someone who paid for land or somebody who invested. And even me, I've been asking these people on this table, where is my dividend? And in 2025, if I don't get it, some of them will have to lose their job and somebody will replace them. No, it's true. I'm an investor. So when you then put my name and then attack me as though you pay money to my personal account, right? And then when we got to do investigation, we realized that this guy was an agent who claimed he was an agent of a land we bought, and they didn't give him a commission. And then, okay, where is the agreement where you agreed with our lawyer for 75 million? There's none. The police then invited the seller to say, okay, your agent is troubling your buyer.
why is your agent doing that? You know what the seller said? I don't know this agent. He said, in fact, I thought he's their own agent. Well, like our own agent, how? And yet this guy petitioned newspaper houses, oh, paid bloggers to carry the story. Okay, so how long do we continue, right, with this culture? Is what we are saying. But the laws are there. I think the main one that needs to be fixed is our criminal, right? Is it code of lawyer? Criminal justice law. Do you want to? Okay. So not yet. So our criminal justice leader here. Are you aware? Almost 20% of those sales we've had to refund the customer, and because some of them bullied with EFCC and police, refund had to be done in full. Now, will federal government refund the tax of 2019? Even as a result of that, nowadays we've had to change our policy where we don't, when you pay for land, we just see it as what the word we use now? As there's a where's the counter is not here. We just see it as okay, an inflow, right? Not yet, because we are not sure. You can come back again and say, I want my money back. Okay, so because 2019 we will pay tax on it, and then somebody come and use agency of government you pay tax to harass your staff, right? To harass your staff. So we hope these are done, but we constantly are engaging. Next year we'll still have that conference. We'll try and bring some legislators. We hope they will make themselves available, because Nigeria, everybody is a big man, and sometimes we are not willing. We fail to realize we are public servants, and we should be willing, right, to have national discourse issues, that we all can discuss and see how we resolve issues. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that answers Mr. Rotson's question.
So my questions are in two tiers. One for maybe the customer. So I want to understand that from the onset there being a communication that distinctively communicates that they cannot be, maybe you want to sell your land. Have there been any communication passed across to these sellers or buyers rather that they cannot refund, ask for a refund? Have there been an MOU to that regard? Because where there is no offense, where there is no law, there is no offense. We must understand that. And the purpose of, there are some reasons, diverse reasons why people just go into buying of land. It might be to also sell later, and it might be to build on it.
So the issue is our law, right, subscription form, we have to put it there. And part of the clauses, we don't do refund. Now, if for any reason we have to do refund, it's minus 30%. It used to be 90 days, 90 working days, now it's 120 working days, and it's staggered. But what we are saying is that in spite of people signing those things, right, what we have seen is this blackmail. Right? Trust me, this conversation is not about law. If it's law, they will take us to court now and they will win. Does that make sense at all? So this is not about law. This is about blackmail. And I'm talking about threatening staff. Some of them have had to resign. Because when somebody who is, and most of our customers are way older than our employees, right? So imagine an old man shouting on phone, I will jail you people. You're all criminals. You're all, right? And a person go and a young person, hey, I'm just an employee, I beg. Right? So we get, I have gotten a lot of those things. I had one experience once, many years ago. In those days, I was very much actively involved. And this guy said he's a military guy, he works in the US Army, and that he's going to deal with me. I remember saying to you, report me to, I said, well, do you know CIA? I think you should add them. FBI, CIA, Interpol, add them to those who are, because it was a civil transaction. I did not take money from your pocket by force, right? You saw what we were selling, you willingly invested, right? Now, if you think whatever we said was not true, what are you supposed to do? Take us to court. So I remember I had to say to him, I said, because we had moved our office from Ogbaden to Omole. I said, here's our new address, so that you don't go to the old address and say they disappeared. Oh. We operate from, you can come from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. I am in this office. Come and carry out your threats. How many employees can say that? Right? Of course, when he came, all he said, because he traveled down through you from America. By the time he got to office, oh, I didn't know you people are this big. I didn't know you people are this big. Give me my receipt, give me my receipt. And that ended it. But how many employees will not have been scared? I don't know how you understand, because this guy is a military guy, he's quoting this thing, he's older than you, the whole thing sounded like, and they will throw words here and there. And so we feel, and we've had reports where employees have been concerned about these threats, right? And I'm saying if we continue like this, remember, we are now also in the US, right? Some of our people who do business with us in Nigeria will go and threaten somebody in America, and then they will sue. And then people will now start saying, Gtext sue, or Gtext employees sue customer, all of this. And that some things are just not tolerated in modern society. And the earlier we educate, that's why we're doing this press conference, the better. That you can land in jail for threatening someone because it's criminal. But if you do transaction with somebody, it's civil. Go to court or go to mediation. Even our contract clearly stated mediation. Right? So why not do that, but resort to threats, resort to social media blackmail, resort to all manner? Right? So these are things we are trying to educate people, and that's why we're doing this press conference. Say, let's be aware. I want you media to please get this to go viral. By the way, we're not the only one facing this. In fact, ours is easy. Of all real estate companies, we are the least going through this. But again, our approach is a bit different from others. We're a global brand, right? So some things really, really have far-reaching consequences. I, for example, now have an executive assistant who is an American, right, who now handles my phone. I'm having to try to explain that, well, now that you handle my phone, occasionally you get threats. So. And Nigerians are just like that. Oh. They don't mean exactly just the way we talk. But no American can understand that. Right? So it's better we just start educating before things go out of hand. And then people now, what's going on? Things are changing. We are now a very global organization. In Nigeria, you can just accuse somebody of anything. Anything. Just wake up and accuse anybody of anything. And even press people carry it. Right? ABC now is compensating Donald Trump for something they said. Right? Donald Trump lawyer was asked to pay very huge money to the software, the company that did the software for US election, for some claims he made that the software wasn't working well. And in fact, the man is bankrupt right now. Donald Trump's lawyer, what's his name? Used to be former mayor of New York. So these are the kind of countries we now do business. Are we together now? Should we be having, because we notice this could happen if we continue like this. And that's why we're trying to put this press conference to say the company has changed. We are not who we used to be. Now it's no longer a Nigerian company. We have an office, very big office now in KD, we are in Dubai, we're in UK. So you may just end up sending something to a wrong staff who is not Nigerian. He panics. Our group CEO, I think he's joining us virtually. It's a Pakistani. The day he was to resume in Nigeria, he said everybody told him, don't go. Don't go. They'll kidnap you. Right? Anything can happen to you. In fact, I joked with him when he finally arrived in Nigeria. So I told them to bring him to one of our estates in Abuja. So as he arrived, I said, we are kidnapping. Everyone busted into laughter. But those are the things you will see. Just Google Nigeria for Pakistan. All you see is kidnapping, travel warning, red alerts, be careful. Okay? Government isn't doing anything about it. And we are saying that we're not getting foreign direct investment. So my question is, so imagine you just send messages, and even our group CEO I kept constantly said this, Dr. Stephen, I don't want to see you again, anything Gtext. Let them talk to us. We run the company now. Right? Let them talk to us. Let them stop dragging your name on everything that has to do with the organization. And we hope that this year, 2025, will be that year that we officially get, because I have many things I'm doing. We're about starting a food bank in Lagos and in Houston to start producing, giving food to people from end of next year. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm doing. We're starting a production company. We started, it's registered. So next year we're going to start movies. We're going to start a YouTube series. So there's so much to me, so much calm. Or you keep dragging me with all these other things where there are professionals who are on ground, who are to do the job. Or you then threaten employees, we think is not right.
Especially if it has been stated that maybe terms and conditions that there's no that they don't do refunds. So in the first place, should there be a refund? Then the doctor said if that they are going to start payback buyback,
Yes.
which is going to be 100%. Is it sustainable? Because I can imagine now I buy a property from you, then my daughter is getting married. I come back to your company. I need my money. My daughter wants to get married. Is it sustainable when everybody keeps coming back? And
So let me talk to on it before the lawyer then.
Because based on current valuation and inflation and all of that, if you're doing a buyback, will inflation rates kick in? Because if I bought at 100,000 a plot last year and inflation has gone to 13%, would you calculate based on current valuation or?
This is an ongoing case. We're just saying we have a 30-day window. You are owing us money. You do not pay, then you automatically don't have land with us. That's what we're saying. And that we are willing, you following this process, to refund what you have paid. Because this is a case that most of these people have not finished paying. They are still owing on document or owing on development levy. For example, to your question on inflation, we said you needed, I'm just give example, 4.5 million for us to do internal road to your land, do drainage. Sir, 4.5 million does not cover it anymore. As at the time you were paying, cement was 2,800. Today, cement is over 11,000. So we are the one facing the inflation conversation. So even if you don't pay us today, the 4 million we agreed as development levy, it can't still cover the infrastructure we are supposed to do to where your land is. Some of these land are waterlogged. We need to sand fill it. Sand then used to be, I think, 40,000 per 20 ton or something, whatever. Now it's 100 and something. Right? 160,000 now. So these are the issues we are saying. And if we keep quiet like this, right, it will become a failed estate. And everybody say, and that's what's happening with a lot of our colleagues. You don't say Gtext did not deliver, their mouth is sweet. Okay, but it's a case of you bought land from us 5 years ago. You refused to pay documentation fee, development levy. So you just made a deposit and you disappear. Right? And then you will now later accuse us and say, because if we don't do this press conference, what will happen is that they say, no, they sold the land to more people than are we together. So when we get that, they say, you don't have land with us again. If you don't pay us what you owe us in the next, and we're talking, like I say, we're talking about billions here being owed. Right? Salaries has to be paid. Things have to be done. Contractors have to be paid. And it's still people that will say, don't mind them, they are owing their contractors, they are owing their this, they are owing this person, they are not doing this. Hey, we don't plant money behind somewhere, right? is as we do business, we then, use those money. So that's the case. And I'm happy you raised that. So it's not this is just a one-off to say, even if you don't send us your document, you still don't have land with us. That's the bottom line here. You are owing us. By 15th of January, you don't pay. You don't have land with us. If, of course, you pay everything, we are even doing more allocation, as we always even bring you media people for allocations. We constantly are doing allocation. But we don't say you have land with us because you deposited 20% 10 years ago. And we're saying this so that when you see all this blackmail stuff, it's not something a whole punch will now carry a blackmail video. Hamper.
Okay, so to simplify what where the company is unable to deliver on its mandate, or where the client is unable to continue with the payment, they can write formally and ask for a refund. However, even the Supreme Court itself has said that the Supreme Court will not bother to make an agreement for parties to a contract where one subsists. When parties to a contract has agreed on the modality to be banned, inviting any agency or so to come and help you get what is clearly against the terms of contract is not allowed. But in some situations, equity will not allow people to suffer in vain. Equity may want to step in to see how they can modify with that procedures that Dr. Elia mentioned. Like mediation, right? Apart from mediation, before getting to mediation, if you write formally to state that you are unable to continue with this contract, they will say we are going to forfeit so amount for administrative charges. It will take period of time for them to process your refund, and maybe they are going to pay you back in the form of standard payment. All those things are still internal remedy to ensure that you don't lose everything. Thank you. Okay, so what you're saying now is
No cost on their part. We paid all of that. So return it back, right? And then we start processing your refund. That's part of the benevolence. Part of the benevolence is that every one of them, we indicated that we will deduct 30%. Am I making sense with that? And we're saying we may consider not even removing any deduction right now. Particularly,
this press conference,
yes.
You should have won a Christmas act because this Christmas gift.
Right. So we're saying that's why that the contract say we will deduct. We're even willing, right, in some cases to say we'll give you back the full money. Right? And do you agree that's fair? So, but we want to make it clear because we know there are some people who will make trouble on this. Right? But haven't done a press conference and everybody, even if they start blackmailing, there's evidence. We've informed everyone. And by the way, we have been sending notice of default for some people for 3 years, some people for 5 years, some people for 2 years, some people for 1 year. If at some point we use a software to just every month, and part of it says you are owing us 10% of what is due every month you default. And so some people, what they're even owing us is times 10 of what they actually paid before or were owing before. So all of that is just to say, let's do this amnesty program, right? To say we're willing to buy back, right? Let's all move on as a company with integrity, but there is a procedure, right? It's 120 working days, it's staggered refund, and we know that we can then get new customers to do business with us, because some of those times we just tied it down waiting for these people to pay us, and that is affecting us having resources to develop the estate fast, right? Because we've just been waiting and we can't keep waiting. So we rather move on, have new customers for those places who are ready to obey our term, who are ready with the rules, are ready to pay. We've even adjusted. We are no longer doing flexible payments for 3 months, 6 months anymore. Flexible payment or installment is now 30 days. outright is now within 72 hours, max 1 week, right? So that we don't drag. Else you will be accusing and say this their estate, they are not building it on time. And we are not building on time because people are dragging their own payments, and they are also implicating other genuine customers, faithful customers who paid everything and are not owing anything.
Thank you very much, Dr. Steven.
Yes.
Thank you.
Our land, because we have a culture where we don't always sell all the lands we have. We always reserve a good portion for our housing scheme in the future. However, we've realized that in the meantime, while we're waiting for the economy to stabilize, because some of you will have noticed we've slowed down our housing. We only do based off plan when it comes to housing, and the client must be willing to take up the inflation and the variation in pricing while we're building for you. But so that has slowed down the volume of houses we can sell. But in the meantime, we have all this land. We've decided to start agro-tourism, where we are going to be doing processing, crop farming, and animal farming. And we're taking one estate at a time. So what we're creating is a situation where people will be able to visit some of our estates from next year. We're going to be starting one estate after the other. And our goal is to have you can lodge there, you'll be able to get fresh milk, you're able to visit the farm, vegetable, have beautiful experiences. We call it rural luxury, okay, a rural luxury experience. Um, Lagos is polluted, and many of our urban cities are polluted. We know what I'm talking about. And sometimes you just want to disappear, just have those peace and quiet experiences. So these are some of the new innovation we are going to be introducing to all our estates going forward. We also are starting the Stephen Akintayo production, and it's now a registered company in the US and also registered here in Nigeria. And we're starting with a few YouTube series. We have two movie scripts ready, but we want to push the YouTube series first so that we can build our own audience, just like Tyler Perry experience, where you created a customer, right, for your content before it's fully developed. And our vision is that hopefully by the end of 2025, we will at least have completed production for maybe one of the movies. And we know that by 2026, it will be the year of releasing it. But watch out, from March next year, you're going to be seeing us releasing YouTube series. One of it is to resolve real estate crisis, right? So we're going to be playing out what goes on in the real estate industry, including customers who threaten with Oyinbo from abroad, right? Including unmoney experiences, including government issues, so that we can further educate people about what goes on in the sector and ultimately touch light so we all can resolve a lot of the challenges we face in our business. But we're having several different YouTube scripts that will be coming up with the Stigmata YouTube channel. It already has a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel currently has over 15,000 or 20,000 subscribers already. But we want to grow that to hundreds of thousands in the next 12 months, and a lot of content coming on board. So we're really, really excited about that. We're coming out with a 2 food bank as part of, I'm sure some of you who are used to us know we do a lot of charity. We have our food program for indigent people, for widows we do. You'll be glad to know we've given bursary to more than 10,000 people in the last 16 years who have been part of that. And so this food issue is a major issue that we are really concerned about. And we have a new, for the Stigmata Foundation, our vision is to hopefully
feed 1 billion people in the next 50 years. Right? So this is a long term vision. And we're excited because we are now a registered foundation both in the US and in Nigeria. And we're intentionally having the food bank in the US as well as in Nigeria so that as we stabilize with the US food bank, any excess we have in the US can always come, like clothing, and because we also have a shop. We're being creative about it. There will be a cheap shop where people can just donate clothes and all of that. We just sell, right? And some of those things, that are not perishable can constantly be brought to Nigeria. And even some of the donations to our US food bank, if we have it in excess, we can donate it to our Nigerian food bank because the structure, and we want to encourage government to pick up this structure that US has. In the US, right, as a company on charity, it's tax deductible. We don't do that in Nigeria. So we know that our food bank in the US, once we start, all these big companies will just easily, because for them it's either they pay the tax or they're able to do charity, and then that's even PR for their company. So we know that the US food bank will be sustainable as soon as we start it. But we're worried that it will be a lot difficult to sustain the one in Nigeria, right? Hence, we're hoping the US one will also be able to support the food bank here in Nigeria, because some people have been saying, why US? You'll be shocked to know that 1 out of every 5 child in America is suffering from food crisis, right? Yes, in America. Okay, so it's only in Nigeria that there are food problems. Particularly Houston, there are a lot of poor, challenged families there, and we're hoping, particularly in minority communities. Hello, one house, minority communities experiences this, and we're hoping the food bank will be able to help with that. But we also are doing that in Nigeria. Today, we're still doing a book launch here. If some of you can wait, you are invited to be part of that. I'm donating all the proceeds from my new book to the food bank. I thought you appreciate that. Right? So, if you have the copy of the book, and I say, so we have this one, the ABC of real estate investment, the ABC of America's real estate investment. So this is one of the books to be launched today. The second one is the Global Real Estate Investment Handbook. Is the second book to be launched today. So the profits from these two books all goes towards the food bank, and we're going to be pushing it aggressively in the next. So we're hoping that at least by the end of 2025, the food bank should be ready. We're also looking, by the way, you guys can help us push it out there. We're looking for a warehouse within Ogba, Ikeja, Oregun axis, right? That we can either do lease to own, long lease to own.
Mrs. Lawson has that connection.
So either we do long lease to own, we'll do, by the way, the same we want to do in the US as well. So any warehouse that is suitable for such, that we can, either lease for a long time while we then start paying for the properties, for the ownership. You can do like a 5-year lease, and within that 5 year, you complete the payment for the property itself. So that's what we're looking for, so that we get that quickly. We start renovation, we set it up, and then, hopefully before the end of 2025, we're up and running.
For the purpose of this interview, can we start?
Dr. Stephen Akinta, Chairman, Gtext Holdings.
What informed this press conference? Just in the summary.
Well, basically, we are planning the new year, and we needed to update the general public on some of the plans for the new year. For example, as a company internally, we're pegging naira to dollar at 2,200 for the year 2025. We're tightening up things because we are expecting still a very tight economy. And that also has necessitated making some very tough decisions on our part, which is we've had situation where as a result of the tough economy, we've seen situation where people, as against the contract they have with us when they did, whether they bought land or they bought houses, are defaulting, and many are having reason to want refunds. And we've decided to just announce a general buyback, and then the terms of those buyback, which is one, you send us the original document that was sent to you. It will be a 120-day or a working day from the day you sent us the original document, that the buyback will take effect, and it will be staggered payment, as most customers also paid in a staggered way. And this is so that we don't keep dragging situations where, for example, customers are owing development levy. Now, cement, as at the time, was 2,300. Now it's more than 10,000. Iron rod, we know what it was. Sand, we know what it was. So this is creating situation where you are slowing down on providing infrastructure on your estates because people are not paying up, and inflation is eating up the value of even what they are supposed to pay. So rather than just create a situation where you're just stagnated, it's better to just say, hey, we'll refund you, and then we'll look for more customers who are willing to keep to the term of the transactions. We also have been able to discuss the new expansion. We're going to agrotourism, food processing, crop and animal farming, and tourism for people to come around our estates and have some fun. We'll start with one estate. We have 30 estates, so this will probably take another 5 years to complete all the 30 estates, and even new estates we are launching as well. We started actually a production company where we're going to be doing YouTube series and movies into the future. And lastly, we discussed about the food bank we're starting both in Houston as well as in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, talk about the book. You have presented
Yes. So we have two new books. Can I have the books? And the proceeds, because people have asked, how do we intend to, part of how we intend to be able to fund the food bank is from profit from this book. So even today we are launching these two books. This is the ABC of America's real estate investment, and then this one is Global Real Estate Investment Handbook. And the two books are being launched today, and we are also going to be having a wonderful time, and the profit is going towards our foundation, the Simatea Foundation, and the food bank. We call it Mercy Food Bank we're working on. We are open to donations and support towards the food bank. Our vision is in 50 years we want to feed 1 billion people all over the world. Yeah.
So what would be your message to your customers that want to partner with your company?
Well, we want to first of all thank some of our amazing customers. We've had amazing customers, right? In the 80% region, we've had great customers who have had great business with us and who have kept to their words. But we also have in the 19 to the 20% region, those who have had to default. And we understand, we empathize. But in reality, we are being owed billions, right? And some of these things affect the pace of what we need to do in our Nigerian operation. And that's why we're giving this 30-day opportunity. If you are sure you don't want us to buy back the land, you still want the land, then you have a 30-day to pay whatever you are owing. But if not, we will have to, because already you've defaulted. And what really should have happened is that there's a forfeiture based on the terms and the contract many signed with us, as well as deductions and all of that. But we are waiving all of that for those who officially write us again to say, hey, we cannot be able to complete our payment, either for documents, either for development levy, right? We won't be able to complete the payment, and maybe we will want the refund, or the buyback rather, right? And we're open to that, and that's what we're communicating. But 30 days from now, if anyone is still owing us, they don't have land with us anymore, because we don't want to stagnate the growth of the business. We have employees we are accountable to. We have investors, shareholders, which I represent now. Okay, I've said it over and over again. My colleagues who are here are the ones who now run the business, right? I'm an investor just like anybody who bought land, anybody who invested money. And we're hoping that every year we share dividends, right? And we're hoping to go to the capital markets in the next few years. But we won't be able to do all of this when people are owing us billions here and there, and then the land is being tied down, and we can't move forward because people are owing.
Thank you very much.
Yes, first of all, we said it earlier. This is just to, present this to our investors as being open, transparent, and to keep our integrity. Because it's one thing for you to create a law, it's another thing for you to communicate. So this both step, we brought it up so that we can communicate. This press conference is held here today in order for us to communicate to our investors about our bold step and the way forward in the coming year. Yes.
So what would be your message to your customers?
Okay, so for my investors, my amazing customers, you guys brought us this far. It was because of your investment that we're here. And because we want to deliver on our promises, we've come together to say those owing us, they have 30 days to pay off. 30 days from now to pay us. If not, we're just send us email. And the email to send to us requesting for your, for the buyback is refund@gtextland.com. Refund@gtextland.com. Send that mail. This is not to all our investors, but if you know you can't meet up in the next 30 days to pay off all the amount you are owing us, just send us that mail. Send the mail to refund@gtextland.com. Then we'll start the process. And remember, the process starts after we must have recovered all the documents we have given to you that binds us together: the deed of assignment, the survey plan, be it contract of sale. Send it to us in good shape, the way we delivered it to you via DHL. Then we can now process the buyback procedure. It will take step, and it's just for 120 working days for the payment to be processed.
Thank you very much.
Just smile. Just smile.